I'm going to need you to share with the audience your really big, fascinating, important new discovery that's changed your life.
It's so important. It's actually changed my life.
Yeah. This is important for the plot.
I, about 8 days ago, started mouth taping at night.
You heard
Everyone's heard it. Oh, mouth tape, mouth. I've done it, and I've gotten the best sleep of my life.
like the best sleep. Now, mouth taping, for those of you guys who don't know, I pulled up just a little bit of research. It's like common sense, but mouth taping is where you place a small strip of skin safe tape across the midline of your closed lips before bed. The goal is to force nose breathing as you sleep as opposed to mouth breathing. For all the mouth breathers out there, you got to start mouth taping. Inhaling air through your nose filters the air you breathe, removing dust, allergens, and pollutants while also activating the lower lungs, allowing you to take deeper breaths. Louisa Bazan, MD, a sleep specialist at Henry Ford Health, says studies show that breathing through your nose offers benefits, including lower blood pressure, less snoring, and less dry mouth, of course. And we've heard about it. This is not news, mouth taping, but you need to tell them your sleep score, what your average sleep score on. We're both Oura Ring wearers.
Mine's not on because I just got my nails done.
Oura Ring. Oh my God, wait, we have the same nails?
Oh my God, we do have the same nails.
Mine are a little bit more, what, pinky?
Let me see. Well,
yours are like a cherry red. Mine are like,
nails.
mine are a little bit more pink.
Oh yeah, a little bit more pink.
Yeah. Well, why are you saying it like that? You're like yours is like a traditional like Ferrari red. She's got red. A stiletto red heel.
I've got red
nails.
bottom heel nails.
Okay, period.
No, okay. So
sleep score.
I typically average, I would say, anywhere between like the 70s and 80s for my sleep score for Oura, which is like not horrible, not great.
You want to get as close as you can to 100. I don't know anybody who's gotten 100 sleep score before.
No, but you want to know what mine was last night?
Share.
96, you guys.
96. With the mouth taping. So I'm blown away.
I'm blown away too because I'm not really changing anything. I'm doing the same nighttime routine, do the same like shower, do the same face routine, try to read a little bit, try to get off the phone. I've been doing that for months now, but I was still getting like icky sleep. And I've slept through the night, except for I had to pee at like 4 o'clock in the morning last night, but I still got 96. Like,
that's crazy. Crazy.
What? No, so I don't know if you guys can notice, but like my jawline.
I don't know if you've noticed, but she snatched.
I'm like snatched.
No, she can like literally chisel something with that jawline.
No, I literally could cut something.
Yeah. Crazy.
No, but I'm just like, it's crazy. So I'm using the Skinny Confidential tape. I've tried others that I've bought from Amazon, and within 40 minutes of me trying to lay down, I've taken it off.
Yeah.
Can't stand it. This one, like, I'm sure you've seen all of the ads for it. It's like the pink lips almost, but it fits so nicely on the mouth, and it has this little tiny slit in the middle that allows you to kind of like wean into
also drink water too.
And also drinking water, which I really love because like during the night sometimes I might need like a little bit of a
you don't like gulp in the middle of the night.
No, I do gulp in the middle of the night, but this is
you're
like
trying to be cute about it. You're like, I might need a little bit of water. No, I'm like in the middle of the night, I'm waking up and I'm like putting it back down. I literally just spat everywhere.
Well, that's what
that happens. Was a live demo of like me every single night at 3 a.m.
There's only a tiny little slit there, so it's like your mouth stays like closed in position. But there's that little slit where it's like if you needed to breathe through your mouth and you like start to freak out, it's there, and you can drink water.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to sip now, like a really dignified lady,
like a little lady. That's crazy. I know. We had to share. I have not started mouth taping, but I know that I'm a nose breather. But I think now I'm questioning my whole existence.
Sophia, honestly, you're like the prettiest sleeper I've ever seen in my life.
What? Say it again.
Well, now I don't know if I want to. That was fucking horrible.
I've always been like, I always Sophia, look like I'm the happiest person when I'm sleeping. My parents have said that too.
Like, I am in like fetal position. It's probably a trauma response to something.
Yes.
I'm curled up. Life. I am like mouthy. I sometimes snore. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm all over the place when it comes to sleeping. When I drink alcohol, my sleep is so
Oh,
bad. I'm
bad.
twisting and turning and all that stuff. Sophia's like an angel.
Perfect angel.
Just like sleeps on
Yeah.
her back, no wrinkles, no nothing. I wake up with like sheet marks
Yeah.
imprinted in my face. It's so bad. What's it like being God's favorite?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've been waiting for you to ask for a while, and
Yeah.
I feel like I'm ready for my answer.
Mm-hmm.
It's a difficult life. It's hard to be me. No, but I've always been like a very peaceful sleeper. I don't think I've ever been
super
caught
peaceful.
snoring. I don't wake up with like cotton mouth or anything. Obviously, when we drink alcohol, that fucks with your sleep no matter what.
Mhm.
But I do want to start mouth taping. I need to get Nash's asked to start mouth taping too because he's snoring now, which is just like ridiculous. Like I started dating him when he didn't snore, and I thought that was one of his biggest pros, and now he's a snorer, and I'm like, sir, you can't put a ring on it and then start snoring. No, I'm kidding. But truly, I think that like I need to start mouth taping the both of us.
I've never been in like bed with a snorer.
Really?
I've been with someone who was a teeth grinder. Yeah.
Oh, that's honestly kind of worse.
That's
scary because you hear the little.
Yeah, like I heard, and it was grinding like so hard.
Yeah.
And this was my ex-boyfriend, and he used to have to wear a mouth guard, and in the middle of the night he would like take it off, and it'd be like we'd wake up and it'd be like in bed somewhere.
He should have gotten Masseter botox.
100%.
Should have encouraged him to get Masseter. Which we'll talk about that too. Masseter botox.
We love
game changer.
Are massive Masseter fans.
Yeah,
over here.
if you have TMJ, you have TMJ.
Oh, it's wretched.
I
Don't
just
recommend.
grind. I clench my jaw at night a lot. And I posted a few transformation videos on like Instagram and TikTok and stuff, and it still blows me away that very first time a year ago before I got it, my face was so boxy. Like you could tell that I was
into the boxiness because it's time for me to re-up.
You could tell that I was overworking my muscles. So your master muscles are in your jaw. Like those, if you put your hands on the side of your jaw and you like punch down, you'll feel them kind of come out a little bit. Mine, when our old injector, she put her hands down there and she's like, okay, clench down. Her hands literally like jutted out like 2 inches to the side. And she was like, oh my God, you are way, way, way overworking these muscles. And I'm like, yeah, I feel it. Because I would wake up with like migraines. My jaw would be sore. I'd have to like massage it every morning. And I thought that was just kind of like normal. Didn't really realize what was going on. And then you said you got Botox in your jaw for your TMJ.
Yeah.
And it totally helped relieve the pain. And I'm like, sign me up.
Like, oh, you can go to this therapist and do therapy. I'm like, I don't want to do jaw therapy. Don't.
Jaw therapy?
Yes. For like, okay, because when I open my mouth.
To strengthen the muscles.
It kind of like.
Sorry, guys.
Wait,
I'm just getting like it's literally God is calling because he's like,
calling?
wait, I heard that you were talking about me and that he's his favorite. Hold on, he's on my favorites right now. I'm gonna hang up on him. I'll say, be right back.
Who is it?
It's JC.
Oh
yeah,
she's coming to visit.
I know she is.
I don't know what I was gonna say, but something about
jaw therapy.
Oh yeah, and I was like, I don't want to do that.
No,
I don't want to do that because when I open my jaw, it kind of opens and like hinges a little bit to the left. And then like back into place.
She's unique. She's a unique girl.
I've always been unique.
Yes.
In many, many ways.
I may be God's favorite, but you are unique.
That's so true.
Yeah, that is true.
I'm one of a kind.
Yeah, you are one of a kind.
What can I say?
One of the benefit, or people might say it's not a benefit. It could be a pro or con depending on how you look at it, but it slims your face down. It just inherently slims your face down because you're no longer working these muscles.
Yeah, you're kind of freezing those muscles.
You could get it cosmetically if you want to have the appearance of a slimmer face. You can get it. Side effect could be possible jowls, which some people get depending on your face structure, depending on just everything. But if you get it for health purposes, I guess, as in like TMJ or clenching your jaw like me, it has saved the day. And I still get it. I just got it a month and a half ago or something again, re-upped. Yeah, it's necessary because I was waking up with migraines and stuff. But we wanted to talk to you about the mouth taping. Who's a mouth taper? Let us know.
I'm really liking it.
Yeah.
And I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. And yeah.
It's good. And that's it. And then we got into Master Botox. But you guys, today's episode is going to be about sisterhood. We want to talk about what it's like to have a sister, to be a sister, and what the sisterhood experience is. I feel like a lot of sisters out there have a very similar sisterhood experience, but I actually have
Totally.
some quotes that I want to start off with to just kind of like get in the mood of sisterhoodness. Okay. I've got about like 6
Are
quotes.
these quotes that I've said?
No, these are quotes about sisters. You're not that special.
Okay, I thought you were quoting us, and I'm
No.
like, I would really like to have
These are
screen these, but it's
sisterhood
fine.
quotes.
Okay.
No, I'm coming at you.
Okay.
Sisters are like fat thighs. They stick together and always add a little extra warmth. How do you feel about that? I like it.
It's funny.
A sister is someone who will criticize your outfit but still borrow your clothes.
100%. That's true.
On purpose, too. You fucking fuck. You do that all the time. She's like, I would be like, does this look good? She's like, no. And I'm like, okay, take it off. All of a sudden, she's wearing it. And I'm like, did you do that on purpose? Because there's a lot of things that do
No.
look better on you than they look on
100%.
me. But I know that there's a lot of ulterior motives. Okay, moving on. Sisters, genetically programmed to annoy each other, and yet we still choose to be friends. With a sister, life's a never-ending cycle of borrowing each other's clothes without permission.
Yes.
And then not giving it back.
I just got a fat fucking lecture from her last week.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I'm missing some fucking hats. I had all of my hats. Everything was in place in my closet. And then you moved in. And all of a sudden, I'm missing like 2 to 3 hats. My clothes are rearranged. I go up in her bedroom, which is a whole disaster. I look around. I see like 4 of my items in there. It's ridiculous. And you have the audacity to tell me that you left the hat at mom and dad's house.
I did leave the hat at mom and dad's house.
Cannot believe.
Okay, but
Cardinal sin.
Positive, my mom washed the hat because she just loves, like, she's so good.
She's really good at
with
that.
shit like that.
Get you a Polish
And
woman to
No, listen.
really know how to
brings the
doctor
hat
up
over.
some
She brings the hat
things.
over, and she's like,
Yeah. Do you want me to wash it?
and we're like, okay. And she's like, washed it. Look at no makeup.
Yeah, she gave
we're
a
like,
yeah, she did. It is very
Okay.
white. It looks brand new.
Sue does so good saying nothing
And
and
everything at the same time without saying anything.
So we got one of those moments from
We
her.
did.
with the
We
hat.
did. So the hat's clean and it's back, but
Okay,
it
so
took
don't
like 3
complain
weeks.
when I leave it at mom and dad's house.
No, I am, because it's not in its rightful place. Moving forward, a sister is the only person who can make you laugh, cry, and want to pull your hair out all within the span of an hour.
Facts.
I would even go 30 minutes.
No,
It
same.
happens quick. Like the way that we will go for each other's jugulars, say the meanest, most vile things that you could ever say to anybody.
But we're not that mean to each other.
No, but we go at it for a second. We're not like that mean to
We
each
do,
other,
like,
but I'm saying sisters in general.
Sisters in general.
Like sister
totally.
girlhood in general.
I've seen some crazy
You'll say the
shit
nastiest
been
stuff
said.
to each other, and then like 2 seconds later, we'll be like, "Wait, did you see that TikTok I sent you earlier?" Or be like, "Do you think mom's mad at us?"
Yeah. Wait, how's
And
Ollie?
just forget that it ever happened. It's like a very meaningless. Anytime we like jab at each other, I feel like it's just meaningless.
Totally. It is meaningless. I think
But it
we
feels
both,
good. It feels
does.
good. Yeah, it
Just gotta
feels
get
really
it
good
out.
to just to hit them
Sometimes
where they know it hurts most.
sometimes it's like, you're saying like hurtful
Mhm.
words, but they're so empty because like within 30 minutes,
Yeah.
it's just gonna be over.
It's just a fun little game we like to play as sisters. It's
We're
so
sisters.
fun. We're sisters. Okay, last one. Appreciating my sister for her ability to make any dull moment hilarious with just one look. That's also like a sibling thing for sure.
Totally. I do
feel
find
like
that's just a sibling thing.
Yeah.
Like, I think that could be completely interchanged, but I do think that sisters do work like a smidge differently because we do pick up on things a little different.
yeah, we do.
So,
And it's also like we're both girls, so we're going through this
Yeah.
like womanhood experience together.
completely.
So there's certain things that we see out in public when we're together, or our parents say something, or like family friends. We're just in a group or we're out and somebody says something. We just like give each other a weird look because we're like, oh, did you pick up on that?
Ooh,
And
And
it's
then
just
we'll table it mentally and then just be like, hey, remember?
yeah, like a week later we'll be like, oh my God.
That moment.
Or the best is like when you start laughing, I'll start dying laughing too without you even saying anything because I know that it's going to be funny. I trust your sense of humor, which is very important.
I will say, I'm like, not to like
Toot it.
toot
Toot
our
it. Come on, let it rip.
horns, but we're funny. We're funny.
Do you think so?
I
Do you
do
really think so?
I do think so. I think that
I don't know. You guys let us know.
and I think you guys, like, the more that we become comfortable with this, the more you'll be able to see our sense of
I
humor.
know, because our first episode, we're warming up.
We're definitely warming up to this.
Yes.
This is so new. I'm sure you guys can tell. Like,
Chooch is brand new.
I'm so brand new to this.
Yeah.
I hate being on camera.
She does.
I hate taking photos.
Yep.
I have maybe 2 photos posted on Instagram a year, if that.
Yes, if we're lucky.
Yeah, totally. The only thing I use my story for is to like repost music. It's kind of crazy. I just think like Sophia and I have always like made jokes how we wish that there was like a camera crew,
a hidden camera with some of the shit that we say.
Some of the shit that we say is so funny. We're just funny people, but we were raised by funny people. Like mom and her sister,
yes,
are like
very similar
the
to us.
funniest people that we know.
Our mother was born in New York, Long Island to be specific, too. So that's just like a different breed of funny.
Oh, 100%.
Like crazy, funny,
crazy, dry, out of pocket,
very
humor.
Sometimes very much politically incorrect, but the perfect amount to where it's not offensive.
Politically incorrect.
Yeah,
but it's okay.
But it's okay because it's like for the most part, it's like not offensive. It's like okay, anybody can laugh at that. That's going to be funny. But also, I think I always bring it back here. Where am I going to bring it?
I don't know.
Come on, sister. Come on, sisterhood. Where am I going to circle this back to? Our funny sense of humor.
3, 2, 1.
Private Catholic school. Okay. Private Catholic school, specifically Catholic. Okay. I'm not talking about private Christian school or any other kind of like private school. Specifically private Catholic school. Okay. I can sniff out.
You can.
I can sniff them out.
Says something like,
I sniff the Catholics out. Who are our age though? You really can.
Gosh,
I'm like, if somebody's got a good sense of humor and we're out, and it's like even a girl, guy, doesn't matter. We're out maybe at the bar or something, and somebody's got a good sense of humor. I just like know for a fact that they grew up going to Catholic school.
I just think that for us, like growing up in the Catholic Church, there's just something different. There's something different. There's like a pipeline between like funny people. And growing up,
it's like a dry, sometimes dark, witty, quick sense of humor where we're just kind of like all on the same page.
Totally.
Where a lot of people would take it probably offensively with whatever they're saying or however they deliver it, but like we would never take it offensively.
It's like none of the jokes have to do with religion. It's jokes about life in general. But the delivery and the way it's so funny.
Yeah.
It's really crazy.
But let's give them also like a look into like what it's like being sisters. Okay, I don't know if any other sister duo out there maybe was the same. I don't think that we really like hung out or there was a period of time where we really didn't like each other.
No.
We've always like loved each other, but we just weren't close.
We just weren't close unless we like had to be. I don't know. I don't know how to describe that. I think growing up, we've touched on it before last season, how growing up, I just did not have much of an imagination.
What? Okay, you're really selling yourself here. You had negative imagination. She is so Capricorn to a T that she's so literal. She was even literal when she was 6.
I'm just a realist. And I think things that I enjoyed growing up, being outside, dancing, like music, coloring, like things like that had like a little bit more. I just didn't I didn't like to play with dolls. Okay. I didn't like that. And Sophia was like a doll whore.
Yeah, you guys, when I tell you that I played with Barbies well into middle school.
100%. She did.
I knew the difference between right and wrong and was still I was still playing with Barbies. Like
and that's amazing. But I didn't want to play because that Barbie's not talking to me. I think the extent of my like doll
crazy
like experience was chewing on Polly Pocket clothing.
Insane. That's absolute tragedy. That's why there's teeth marks in my Polly Pockets.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. Which honestly, that is a good thing to chew on it. If you be like
I know,
that
like low
kind of like
key, it
that
did.
Polly Pocket
I was
clothes and
training
stuff.
my Masseters
Yeah,
at a
she was.
young age.
That's why you had TMJ. It was because of the Polly Pocket, the clothes,
Oh,
the
it's
chewy
so bad, the
clothes.
chewy clothes.
No, we had Polly Pockets. I had
Barbies, American Girl dolls.
I used to pretend play teacher all the time. I used to be the teacher and the student
and
at
the
the same
student. She
time.
used to be the cashier and
The checkout. I used to check myself out at the same time that I was
and she
checking
would go
out.
around the corner.
I'd steal my mom's receipts and I would like do that whole.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I was fully in my own world. I could play by myself for hours and hours and hours. And I did. Up in our attic, I would play alone for hours at a time.
We stuck so fucking
And I
in the
just
attic.
never knew what you were doing. I was so in my own world that like I don't even know what you were doing.
What was I doing?
I don't know.
Sitting with my thoughts?
Yes. It explains a lot of why you are the way you are now. It's crazy.
Oh, it's so bad.
So there was like the period of time, I don't know, but also you brought up something good when I was chatting about what I wanted to talk about in today's episode, how like sports, we were in our own world with sports too, because we're 3 years apart.
Yeah.
So
we
we
were
have
in
our own
old world. I played soccer growing up, ran track a little bit here and there as well, in my off season of soccer. And then Soph was also playing soccer and then transitioned into lacrosse. And to be completely honest, I just think that growing up we were so dedicated to our sports, and
that was everything.
It was
we
just
only
everything.
have like
and
a month off all year between club and
totally. And
club
and then we just had our own shit going on. I don't think it was like a huge priority for us to be like kumbaya.
Sister.
Like,
yeah, no,
sister.
we were very much,
just, like,
and we had our own friends from the sports that we would hang out with and everything like that. And I was traveling all along the East Coast. You were traveling all along the West Coast
for soccer. So it was just like it's just interesting. I don't think that. I think we were trying to figure out and pinpoint when we did become close, and I think it was
it was when you left for college.
When I left for college.
It's funny though. I would say the most distant we had ever been was my freshman year and your senior year of high school.
Yeah,
when you were driving me to school every day, like we were with each other more than we had ever been. Besides now, I think our like literally freshman year of my high school, senior year for you, that's the most time that we spent with each other. Besides right now when you moved in, because we've been long distance sisters since you left for college. Besides when we overlapped 1 year at Oregon,
totally,
but still we were kind of like doing our own thing.
We were just doing our own thing.
Yeah,
like,
but
I was senior.
Yeah, she was a close senior. I was a freshman. My shit did not stink when I was in high school. That's what I thought, or so I thought,
or so she thought.
Oh my god, it was crazy. But we rode in the car every day. You drove me to school and we like literally didn't talk.
It was like silent.
It was so
and it was
bad.
like I think the worst day of my life was when that motorcycle sideswiped us. And we were like in stop traffic and this motorcycle was like splitting lanes and hit my car and like legitimately just tore up the side of my car. And I will never screaming in the car. It was the scariest shit I've ever been a part of. It was horrible.
Oh my god, you were freaking out.
I was like, he's dead. He's dead.
If you've ever imagined somebody freaking out, put that to the 10th degree, and that's you like freaking out.
Oh, it was horrible.
I automatically think, we get in it. I'm like, perfect. I will be late to school. I'm missing first period. That's awesome.
Totally.
Because
I had
like,
a civics test that morning, and like I had to go to assisted learning for civics because I could not grasp anything, and we were like good students. We were like decent students.
We were good students. We didn't really struggle too much in school.
1B.
Okay, toot it. We're just like ripping this episode.
It's not like our parents like gave a fuck either.
No, they
like,
literally
just do your shit.
They did not check our grades.
No,
our parents never checked our grades.
They didn't care.
They did not care.
Don't think that we've got parents that were like sticking us in the corner. Like, do your homework.
No, we just kind of held ourselves
doing
to
math.
standard.
Doing math with mom and dad.
Oh, yeah, no, that was bad. That was bad. It was just
like, it scares me the thought of having kids and like having to teach them math and like not losing my cool.
Well, we're gonna understand. I already understand my parents so much better now within the past like 2 to 3 years. It's probably the frontal lobe coming together, but like I understand my parents so much more as individuals.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine how much better we're gonna understand our parents and like our
when
childhood when we
we
become
become
parents. That's probably going to be crazy. Because there's so many times as a kid when you grow up and you're just like, why are my parents acting like that? Why did they say that? Why did they do that? What's going on? And now you kind of get it. I
Oh,
get
I
it a
do
lot
get
more
it.
now.
Oh, I totally get it.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Like, yeah.
But then circling back, you left. So we just like did not really
We just
jive.
we just weren't friends.
Yeah, you were also going, I think, really starting to like get into your mental health battles. Your senior year of high school was when it really
Yeah,
hit,
that was,
because
like,
that's
not
when social
great.
media
Yeah.
started that's when social media started
Rampant. I
rolling.
was
Yeah.
kind of breaking up with soccer at that point, kind of thinking the entirety of my life that I had worked for to play college soccer was kind of coming to a close after my knee injury. I was just like, I don't know. I was going through like a lot of weird things. Yeah.
Don't think about it too much. You're starting to disassociate it.
There's
You
so
and
many times
Nash
where I
disassociation.
watch back some of these videos and like I'm just staring out the window and I'm like, fuck, I want to know what I was thinking about in that moment because I'm like, I disassociate all the time.
Yeah. It's
Oops.
okay. It's okay. You just did too,
I know,
kind of right
I
there. Do you guys catch
did.
it? Nash and her disassociate all the time. I don't, but you guys both have ADD, ADHD, and I do not. So major
There's
slay
some
for
things
you.
going in there.
And then you left for college. You graduated high school.
Totally.
Left for college. She was a freshman in college. I was a sophomore in high school, and we just kind of started texting.
Yeah, we
a
did.
lot. And we
did
started
start
talking.
texting.
I would say like halfway through your freshman year
Yeah.
is when it started to really
Also,
go
and
off.
that's okay. That's also
What?
I don't know if we want to tell this story or
Say
not,
it.
but it's that when you lost your virginity.
Oh, wait, let's. You guys, we're going to share the story of me losing my V.
And this will
This
encompass,
stays here, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, this goes nowhere. This is a safe space.
Encompasses me, Sophia, and then our relationship with our mom.
Yes. Okay.
So
that was honestly kind of what.
Then I think that's like kind of a catalyst for us.
That
like,
makes sense.
Becoming close.
It was October. It was October of my sophomore year of high school.
Yeah.
I was with my first boyfriend at the time of. We were with each other for 4 months at that. We started dating right before my sophomore year. So it was like 4 or 5 months we were together at that point. And, you know, it's your first love. So obviously this is like everything.
Totally.
And I end up losing the V. Everything was fine. Like there was nothing at all. Everything was, it was totally fine. But
so
this is kind of what fused us together. I never
Sophia,
really thought of it like that.
So
That kind
Sophia
of makes
called
sense
me.
now.
She's like, "Can I call you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course." So calls me and she's like, "Okay, like this person and I just had sex," and I was like, "Oh, okay." If you haven't listened before, then what you need to know is that I think I've kissed maybe one person in my lifetime at this point.
Yeah.
I didn't lose my virginity for another 4 years. I lost it like 2 days before I graduated college. But I of course I'm going to be there for my sister, even though I've got absolutely zero like advice. The only advice that I gave her was
you have to tell mom.
You have to tell mom.
Yeah.
I
knew that. That's why I was freaking out so much, because I knew I had to tell mom. We cannot.
Our mom
keep
was
a
like
secret
the
from Sue.
Coolest person.
Yes.
So many of our friends came to our mom for advice. Like she's just was a homie, a friend, like the person to go to. She kept it so
super real,
but also really comforting. That like she could dog you in the same sentence of making you feel like encompassed in a hug. I don't
simultaneously.
Even know. Yeah,
it's almost like
it's so crazy. Her like witchcraft, but. I immediately was like, oh God, like you got to tell mom, because this is a thing. Like the longer you wait to not tell mom, double or triple that, she won't speak to you. Yeah. So he was like, I know. So anyways,
oh my God.
Later that night,
I knew what I was doing. Okay.
You have to take over from this story because I'm up in Oregon.
So
like,
dad was at football practice. So our dad has coached high school football for 30 years. And so he was at football practice. So it was just mom and I on the couch. We were just chilling. It was like nighttime. And I think we got chatting and I planted the seed of like talking about like my current boyfriend, whatever, how I was like, oh yeah, I really like him. Like I love him. He just is like so great, whatever. And I don't know. I don't remember specifically, but she turns and she goes, Well, you haven't lost your virginity yet, have you?
No. She said something about
She
like,
said
I'm
that.
just like so proud that you guys are kind of waiting, focusing on like your sports and things
Yeah.
like that. That's what she had told me that. And I think that
No,
was
but
like
then
kind
she
of the
said, she's like, I'm so
conversation.
glad, that you haven't done. Oh, yeah, I think it was that.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm so glad that you haven't, you guys are really taking it slow. Like, you guys are just you guys are just a good duo together and you balance each other really well. And, you haven't you haven't had sex, have you? And I sat there and I was like, and I didn't say anything. And she goes, Sophia?
She talks through her teeth.
She always talks through her teeth when it gets to that point. She goes, Sophia, have you and Voldemort had sex? And I was like, yes. And she goes, well, and she gets up and leaves the room. I'm like, okay, I'm ready to pack my bags.
She's texting me. She's like, oh my God,
I'm
I don't
gonna live
know,
on the
Mom's mad,
streets
Mom's
now.
mad, Mom's mad. I look at my phone. Sue's calling. She's like, hey. And I'm like, hi. She's like, have you heard? I was like, no, what's up? And she's like, yeah, your sister, well, she had sex and I don't really know what to do.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what to do.
Because this is,
why are they coming to me?
POV of Sue, this is her first daughter who has lost her virginity.
Mind you, my sex talk with Sue was, hey kid, I recorded the Oprah special. It was like a 3-part Oprah special that we recorded, and it was on the DVR.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a whole thing that they did. And if you know, when you were in middle school between like the years of like 2007 to 2010, you know about the Oprah special.
Yeah.
She's like, you can watch it if you want. I just feel like, when you want to have sex, get on birth control. We can do that. We can talk to your doctor. Definitely recommend doing it before you go to college.
Yep.
That's a long way away, but
do it before you get married, for sure.
Do it before you get married,
Yep.
100%. And I'm just in there. I'm like,
but be
okay.
safe. She's like, be safe.
Be safe. Be smart. Be safe.
Yeah.
Like whatever.
Yeah.
So that was the sex talk that I had with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't apply it until well into my 20s,
Mm-hmm.
and I am sitting there on the other end of this phone. I'm like, okay, well, Mom, like, how many of my friends have come to you like after this exact situation?
Yeah, so many of your friends came to our mother after they lost their virginity, because,
or like were at our house before it was happening. Yep. Because it was kind of typical, and it's kind of typical in high school that you kind of plan it out, and they're like, I'm going to do it like after this party.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to do it after prom.
Like homecoming or prom.
And it's like you kind of like plan it out when you're going to have sex.
Mm-hmm.
And so there'd be girls like getting ready at our house beforehand, and they would like tell my mom, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, okay, be safe.
Be safe.
This
like,
is what you have to do.
Okay.
Careful.
Then girls coming afterwards, and they'd be like, oh my God, Sue, like I need some motherly advice. And she's like, all right, here we go. So I'm sitting there, I was like, Mom, like you just got to do what you do. Luckily, Sophia was already on birth control at that point.
Yeah, I was already at that point on it, for sure.
We know the story. They just something is wrong, and birth control, perfect.
Yeah, right.
Put you on it.
Yeah.
So she was already on birth control. I was like, Sophia's already on birth control. I think you just need to consistently like just talk about safety and I don't know, parameters of when they can do that in the house or not do. I don't know. I was like, just be you. And she's like, okay. Okay. All right. Sounds good.
So she hangs up. She comes out, and I'm like sitting in my room texting you at the same time you're talking to Mom. You're like, I'm talking to her right now. It's fine. Like, it's fine. You're going to be fine. And I was like, okay. So I'm like not packing my bags anymore, getting ready to live on the streets. Yeah. My mom comes back to my room, and she goes, grab 2 cores and meet me outside. And I was like, oh my God. Okay. So it's October. So it's still kind of like warm in California. So I grabbed 2 beers, no, I think it was Coronas, actually. Coronas. She goes, grab 2 Coronas, 2 glass Coronas. I bring them outside, and my mom and I have a beer. We share a beer. I'm 15 at this point? And she basically is like, all right, well, so I don't really know what to do because, this is my first, obviously Francesca, so this is my first time doing this. Oops. But let me tell you about when I lost my, and then she goes on and she goes, if you know Sue, then she has 1,000,001 stories. If you think that she has stories, they just keep coming. So she just tells her story. She goes through all of her different boyfriends. We chat about it. And obviously, like, I loved the guy at the time, we were safe, and we were together for a long time after that. Like everything was like well within the parameters of what my mom would wanted, or like what would have been like okay at the time. And yeah, so it was just like really funny because that is so classic of our mother. And that is kind of, I think, what fused us together
It's just like,
because
because that's, I feel like the first time that Sophia like had really come to me
Mhm.
about something like that. And I think like we were just on different paths, like
Yeah.
growing up. I think that Sophia was like definitely like way more, I don't want to use it wasn't like popular or anything like that. I think we were like both like well-known people in high school, like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? I
Yeah.
just think that Sophia
Cool
was
with
a
our
little bit
dad. Our dad
more
coached
like,
at the brothers school, coached football at the brothers school, and it's like a well-known high school for football. And so that kind of helped because we already knew a
we
lot
already
of
knew a
like
lot
the
of people that
faculty,
were
the
like
staff,
older.
and
We knew
older people because of
students that were
that.
older. So I just think that Sophia was a little bit more like desired, I would say, outwardly. I think that there's been people that have come like out of the woodworks for me like later in life. They're like, oh, I always had a crush on you.
In high school,
In
yeah.
high school I totally had a crush on you. And I was like, do you know how
What?
much like
What? That would have helped?
therapy,
Yeah.
like money in therapy, how much like mental anguish I would have like not had to go through
Mhm.
if I knew that. But I just think that we just didn't have a lot in common when it came to that.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
true.
just think that things were just
Different.
different.
But
Yeah.
it all worked out so well though because it just like was such a good balance. Because
Oh,
you've always been
100%.
like Chooch has always been like, if you can't tell, such an old soul. Like you've lived a lot of lives.
Oh, I've lived
I would argue
several
this may be your
lives.
last.
Like I'm like my last couple lives. I'm not gonna
Mhm.
lie. I think
You're an old soul.
I'm learning the lessons that I'm having to relive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably got maybe like 1 or 2 more lives in
Yeah.
me after this. Sophia, first time
Brand
here.
new. I'm fresh
Brand
to
new.
this world.
Brand new.
We
This is
very
it.
much differ, but you've always been such an old soul and like have had a good perspective. You've always been so grounded, and I've been always so just uppity in the fucking air, flying by the seat, like with everything,
Well, I
walking to the beat of
am,
my own
and
drum.
it's actually so funny if you don't believe in,
If you don't
your
believe in astrology, explain this.
explain this. Capricorn, Aquarius, you just never can't catch her for a fucking second, and you'll find me right in the ground.
Ground zero.
I am just there.
Yeah,
Boop.
all the time.
But yeah, I think I think that's when, and I think it just continued on. I
Mhm.
think, I think we just kept in touch more.
We
I
did.
think
We
yeah.
started to like fake. That's when because FaceTiming wasn't a thing. So then
Yep.
FaceTiming like started to become like a big thing.
Soph
Started to
would come out and
FaceTime
visit
more.
me in
Then I came out and
Oregon.
visited you, and then I realized I took a visit. I took like I think I visited you twice your freshman year, because one for lacrosse and then
Oh,
one
that's right,
for
yeah.
Easter when we
Oh
got
my gosh.
really high. When you got really high of that video of you in the
No,
chair.
that was my junior year. That was in my freshman year.
Oh yeah, because
Yeah,
I was a junior. Oh yeah, I guess I was a senior. I was a senior in high school.
totally.
Oh, okay, yeah. So we're speaking in a couple of years. So I visited you a couple times, and then I had a visit there for lacrosse. Loved the school.
Totally.
Hated the lacrosse program there. And I ended up committing to a different school for lacrosse. And then had like a whole beginning of my junior year, I committed, and then had a whole come to Jesus my senior year of high school beginning. And when all my friends were applying to all these colleges and whatever, and I just like I was like, I don't want to go to the school. I don't want to play
Yeah.
lacrosse. I don't want to be close to home. I need to get out. So then I decided to just last minute apply to Oregon. And I was like, hey, I think I'm going to apply to Oregon because I just loved the campus and I
Like,
loved
hell
the school. And
yeah.
you were up there. So that obviously helped a lot. Like a lot of siblings go to this. A lot of younger siblings will follow their older siblings in the
Mhm.
academic area
Totally.
because
I agree.
I just feel like it's like that sense
and
of
especially
comfort.
our class, like my senior
Mhm.
year and then your freshman year, there were so many people
Siblings.
like that I knew across the board that were
Yeah.
siblings through athletics, through Greek life, just through classes, like even if it was like cousins or something like that, a lot of senior, a lot of freshmen.
Duos. A lot
Yeah.
of 3 year apart, which I love being 3 years apart.
Yeah, it's really nice.
I think it's the perfect overlap. I
Yeah.
don't think I would do any more, any less. I really like it a lot because I feel like it's just the perfect amount of time
it is.
to be able to like have you there. But then also I got 3 years in high school and 3 years in college to like figure it out on my own.
Yeah.
You know, without
totally.
you
Totally.
there like right by my side. But yeah, then I committed to going to Oregon, not for lacrosse, but like just for school. And then we were just like, I guess, super close since then.
I know.
And then COVID
kind of like skyrocketed, I think, our relationship into like a new like space. I do think that there might have been bits of, I don't want to say like distance when I just was like not in a healthy relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like I started to kind of keep things from
Yeah.
people, and like
Which is not a good
it's
sign.
not great. Like
That's a
when
red
you
flag
start
in a
like
relationship.
keeping things about like relationships from like your friends and family, like
Who you
that's just
usually
like
share these
that's
moments
like
with.
and I've like learned that the hard way a couple
Mm-hmm.
times now, and it's just like, yeah, I think that the only bits of distance were like when I was lying about, not really lying, just like
You weren't full truthing.
I just wasn't full truthing everything
Yeah.
about
Which makes
my
sense.
ex.
Yeah.
And then COVID came around and we were stuck in the fucking house.
Oh, Panella family was popping. What were we doing? We were getting super
So
high. Wow.
Edibles every
Oh my God. Every day, all day. And
it
then
was
we
so
were
crazy.
binging
Love Island.
Island.
Seasons on seasons on seasons.
We watched
and if you know
one
anything about
through
Love Island,
7
there's
or
like
8.
60 episodes a season.
Yeah, it's a full
UK.
commitment.
Love Island UK.
Okay, yeah, wow. Because US is an embarrassment.
I don't
Love
know.
Island
I'm
US
just
is
like
not the
loving
vibe.
it.
No.
No.
Well, I just have never.
Yeah,
It's not the vibe.
It's just not the vibes.
Especially after you watch Love Island UK. Australia's
like,
okay.
Australia's okay. They've got some good seasons, some good people,
Yeah.
but
UK
UK
stays
is just like
winning.
stays winning.
Which it's on right now, babe.
It is on right now,
It's
babes.
streaming live now, babe.
It's so funny because like I feel like through watching Love Island, I got kind of looped into all of these other shows that are based in the UK, and one of them is called like The Only Way is Essex.
What? Why haven't I
Okay,
been let
but
in on
I
this?
don't have a way of like watching it. Like I only could watch it through like Facebook shorts and stuff like
Okay.
that, where I would watch a 15-minute clip that was like put on Facebook. And so I feel like I like know the entirety of this show and all these characters, and one of like the OG characters is like the newest bombshell on Love
Joey
Island.
Essex.
Joey Essex.
Yeah.
Which I was like,
which is
what?
crazy.
Like the minute I saw his face, I was like,
apparently
oh my
somebody said he's like the Pauly D of Essex.
100%.
Or even I would
like
argue the
something like
UK
that.
or something. I don't know.
I don't even know.
Because
But
there's only one Pauly D in America.
totally, and there's only one Joey Essex, and if you need to know anything, he was just like on that show. So it's just really funny.
Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, Love Island, getting high, working out, going for walks.
Totally. That was like we were just doing so much more together, and I just think that our relationship kind of then took another step. Then she moved to Reno. I would come up and visit her.
Yeah. And now here we
are.
Now you're living with Nash and I.
Working with ya.
I know.
Podcasting.
It's crazy.
Just doing the whole thing. We really dove in. We said, let's be sisters.
Yeah, let's be big sisters. Big time sisterhood right here.
Let's do it.
But it's just a funny thing because it's like having a sister is it's like having, people say, oh, it's having a built-in best friend, but it really truly is because like I said, you're going through this like womanhood, girlhood experience together. You go through it before I do, which is the craziest thing. You have an older sibling set of eyes and lenses on this world.
Which is so crazy.
And I have a younger sibling set of eyes.
And I'll never know what that looks like.
You'll never know what I experienced. And I'll never know what it's like to be the older sibling.
Yeah.
Because you inherently are mother hen.
Totally.
Even though our mother's been great and present and our parents, both of them have been great. But naturally,
like the older sibling does take on that when they're in like friend group situations too.
Yeah.
Like,
you take on that motherly hen vibe. I am not. I am like absolutely not like that.
No.
And it's just crazy how just this, I don't know, sisters are just great. They're so fun to have. And it's funny in like and I saw this TikTok a long time ago, and this girl was like, oh, I can tell if you haven't had a brother or something, like try being like thrown around and like beat up as a kid as a joke, not seriously
like
beat up, but like when rough housing is like you grew up with brothers, oh, you're used to the rough housing. But I'm like,
oh,
but okay, physical rough housing is one, but verbal rough housing from a woman.
You fucked me in high school that one night.
Yeah, I bodied you into the wall.
Okay, you did, but that was like right
Totally
around the
deserving.
time that you totally ratted on me and Taylor sneaking out that one night.
I still don't recall.
You're such a bitch.
I don't remember.
Oh my God. My friend Taylor and I, we snuck out one night to go watch.
Which is so stupid because my mom didn't give a shit what we did.
I know. We
She
totally
did
just could have
not
been like,
care.
Sue, can we go see the James Bond movie with
oh
a
my-
couple of our friends?
She would've been like, yeah,
she'd
that's
be like,
fine.
yeah,
Just
that's
text
fine.
me.
Just text me when you guys like leave and go home. But anyways, Taylor and I did this whole like grand escape of all this shit. And like a couple weeks later, I got in so much trouble from lying to my parents. Like I've never lied to my parents like since then about what I'm doing, where I'm going, and things like that.
Paved
And
the way for me, though.
Sophia just like happened to throw in the fact like I was in so much trouble that my parents took my phone. My dad handed me a legal notepad and a pen, and he said, write down every single thing you did on a timeline from yesterday to this morning. Write it out. I want to know everything.
It was not because of the movie.
No, I know, but Sophia was like, oh, well, like she did sneak out a couple weeks ago too.
Yeah, okay, but you need to tell the story in a way that's gonna. She got in trouble for what was it, homecoming, or it was like it was welcome back dance or homecoming.
Yeah, it was some sort of dance. There was like a
miscommunication.
We're just gonna call it that, a miscommunication of like where I was staying at the end of the night. I had this I fully thought I was sleeping over at this girl's house.
Yep.
Which
our parents knew. Our parents did not care about sleepovers.
They didn't care about that at all.
Oh my God.
Come to find out, like, we were never staying at that girl's house, and they were
Yeah.
like, oh, we're just gonna hang out with these boys and go here and go to these places. And I was like,
ugh, high school.
I didn't like particularly love that, so I just decided to do something different. And I went and I hung out with my other friends, which happened to be people around the soccer community, and
Spending the night with them.
I spent the night
totally
with them.
harmless, very safe.
Extremely harmless. Couldn't be safer, actually.
Yeah.
And then I left the next morning, like drove home as if I had left that girl's house that I was originally supposed to like stay at.
But there was zero communication.
There was zero communication. And the next day,
parents.
some of those girls that I was supposed to be with weren't in the best of situations. And one of their parents called mine and was like, I have no idea where Francesca is. I'm so sorry. Like all this stuff. And my dad's like, oh, she's home. She's like laying in bed, like fully showered, like in bed, like what the fuck. And that's when my dad came in, grabbed my phone. He's like, write down everything. Like, I want to know where the fuck you were last night.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. And so in the process of that whole situation, they're sitting there, they're like, oh
Why
my
not?
God, like what else have you lied about?
Why not add fuel to the fire?
Sophia sat there and she's like with her little devil horns.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, oh, well, like her and Taylor snuck out a couple weeks ago. And
What am I to do when Sue looks me into my soul and she says, you tell me if she's done anything else.
And that's like literally all I've done. And it's so bad.
I had to.
And I wrote down everything. And I was like, and I told my dad, I was like, you can call like the people that I stayed at, you can call their parents. They knew I was there, like 100%.
Everything was
like,
super safe.
I would have probably gotten in trouble anyways because that parent knew my parents so well that they would have been like, oh my God, Francesca's just a delight. We loved having her. Like all this stuff.
Totally.
Yeah, that's what would have happened.
Yeah.
And then they would have been like, she didn't sleep. She wasn't supposed to sleep there.
Uh-huh.
So
it would have happened anyways.
I learned the hard way.
And then I never got in trouble for anything like that because you paved the way.
So we just are really openly communicative with our parents.
Yeah, 100%. Our parents
picked up what we're putting down.
Yeah, super but they opened that doorway for us. They
made it. Yeah, they just always made it
easy.
And my dad was like, "You're so dumb. Like, just call me."
That was what they were most upset about. Is that you just didn't tell them?
Didn't you just tell us? Like, if you didn't want to be with those people, like,
give us a call.
100% okay.
Yeah.
Like, you're allowed to say no to like if you're not feeling it, you're allowed to change your mind. Just let us know.
But anyways, that's what sisters are and sisterhood is. Hopefully we gave you guys like a good insight to sisters. Do you want to say anything?
No, I just gulped.
Yeah. And honestly, on that note, we need to go.
Freak out on me.
On that note, we need to go. But we're accepting
I
applications.
I need like a little Diet Coke break
for sisters. We're accepting applications to be a Pinella sister. If you guys want to join the family,
join in.
So anyways,
so much.
We love you guys. Thanks for hanging with us.
I know.
It's so fun to sit and just hang with you guys. It's our favorite thing to do.
Totally. So fun.
It's so fun.
That's all. I'm getting more comfortable with
yes,
this.
you are. You're like,
this is it.
you're just slaying. Like, I'm so proud.
I know.
Proud little sister.
I know.
Okay. Well, it was so fun to hang with you guys. And thank you so much for joining us today. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye.